Hi, everybody. Welcome. Early show tonight. Thanks so much for joining me. Um, it's going to be an exciting show tonight. I'm so excited to have Vanessa back. And so the show, now look at, see, I have the banner there. So tonight will be Vanessa Hogle. She's a psychic medium and a tarot. Now she's using tarot cards for her readings. And she's also agreed to do two unsolved mysteries. And thanks to Tallcross, he suggested these for me. Thank you so much. So it's going to be Brian Schaefer and the Missouri Three, and I'm really excited to present this tonight with Vanessa. So let's bring Vanessa on. Hey, Vanessa, thanks for joining us.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me. I
Oh,
appreciate it.
oh my God, we're so happy to have you back. Now, also, Vanessa will be returning. She'll be returning. We're going to do a show on her haunted travels. And that's going to be really exciting. So we have to set a date for that. So, Vanessa, we're going to
hmm
talk about Mystery of Terra, and you um, graciously accepted to do two readings with your tarot cards, Brian Schaefer and the Missouri Three. But first, let's start with Vanessa's. Let me get this, Vanessa. Let me get this off of here. With Vanessa's tarot card readings and how you can contact her. There's her email up on the screen. Now, I have some questions, Vanessa. Now, Vanessa, I want to ask you, listen to
hmm
my statement and see if this is accurate.
Okay.
A skilled reader and a clear question can lead to surprising insights. Tarot offers guidance, not fortune telling.
Okay. For the most part, accurate, but for me, different. And may I explain?
Yes.
Okay. And for anyone watching who has had a reading with me, they will verify everything I'm getting ready to say. And please do, if you're watching and you've had a reading from me, put it in the chat, whether or not I'm fibbing. Okay. But for me personally, when I do a tarot reading for an individual, I do them over the phone. And I don't want to be looking at you. I don't want video. I don't want to be able to read your face or your body movements, any type of anything that's going to give anything away. And I'm not going to ask you any questions, neither. Not one. I will not ask you one question. The only thing that you are allowed to give me during the actual tarot reading, the reading of the cards, is the numbers in which to turn the cards over. And the way that I do that is I pull 9 cards face down and I put them in 3 rows of 3 so I can it's easy. Sole reason for that is so I can visually see it and it's easy to count. 1 to 3, 4 to 6, 7 to 9. And my client gives me 3 numbers at a time. Each card can only be used once. I read those 3 cards. Then they give me the next 3. I read those. Then they give me the next 3. I read those. I will not ask a question. I don't want to know anything. Do not give me any information. If you're worried about a spontaneous outburst, put yourself on mute. I'm literally quoting myself before every reading right there. And there is a reason for that, Norene. If I told you how easy it was to cheat and how many people do, you would be amazed.
Really?
Oh, girl,
Really?
it is
Ah,
so easy to cheat.
ah,
It is
ah.
so easy to cheat. People don't realize what they give away. They don't realize what they give away in their facial expression and in their body movements and a simple intake of breath when somebody asks them a question or a glistening in the eye. You know when you have hit on something if you're looking at someone and doing that. And I'm going to give you a perfect example. No offense to anyone that has been on TV doing this, but it is not difficult to be in a grocery store and walk up to somebody of a certain age and look at them and say to them, darling, I saw you from across the room and I have got to let you know your mom and daddy are so proud of you. What's the person going to do if they're of a certain age?
Oh my
Whose
God.
parents have obviously passed?
Oh my.
They're going to burst into tears and think you are the best thing since sliced bread.
Oh my.
And if I had $1 for every time I have seen somebody do something in that realm, I wouldn't have to work.
Oh
I've sat
man.
next to people at psychic fairs that literally pulled the information from their clients to make them believe that they got it themselves. So that part about the question, no, I personally do not trust fully somebody who has to ask me a question to do my reading. You shouldn't have to ask me squat. Okay.
Wow.
Um, and as far as the other part, if I'm remembering it correctly, because I got long winded, we know it.
Oh yeah.
But if I'm remembering correctly, it's there. There's a lot of information that comes through. A lot of information that comes through, and to me, all of it is important. I don't care how minor it seems to me. That might be the one stinking detail that means everything to the person I'm reading for. And you have to give it all. There's no separating and saying, well, that's not what they paid for, so I'm not going to tell them that.
Mm.
That's BS. I'm sorry. I call it like I see it. That's why I charge one fee. That's it. What you get is what you get. Whatever comes through, good, bad, or indifferent. And all is right with the world, at least in my case. And I
Oh,
don't have any complaints that I'm aware of.
okay, so okay, you're a psychic medium. Now you used
Oh,
to
that was the question. Yeah, it's a um.
let me
Do you
finish
know?
it. No, no, let me finish the question because
I got
I
you.
you know what I'm going to ask you. Okay, so you are a psychic medium and
Mm-hmm.
you have performed readings without tarot cards. Now
Oh, heck
because you're a psychic medium, are they getting a better reading? Are they getting a better reading?
yeah. Okay. I don't think so. I think it depends on the person and the reading and the information coming through. Um, the reason I use tarot cards for the most part is because they help me focus. Main reason. Main reason. They help me focus and they keep me because keep in mind when I'm doing a reading, it isn't just your people's coming through. When you open yourself up like that and you let that light shine, so to speak, all the moths come in. Okay. So if you have something to focus on, it can make it easier. But when I do, I wouldn't even, I would say that they're fairly similar. One is just with cards and one is without. Um, and when it is without, it's, it's more of a deceased person solely coming through that I have to weed out of the crowd, but it can also have the other aspects in it. When it's tarot, it could be any of it.
Okay, so
Does that make sense?
yeah. Wait a minute. Okay, now there are negative cards. I think there are negative cards
Oh, yeah.
okay. So what happens? You're doing a reading, and all of a sudden the death card comes up, but you don't see any death in the future for them. What happens? Can you change the
Anyone
meaning of it?
anyone who tells you that the death card means death, they need to have their psychic card
Oh.
removed. Okay. The death card is change.
Oh.
That the death card is change. Now, could that mean death? Sure, it could, but it is essentially change. Just like the devil card isn't the devil. It is a manipulative person, somebody who tries to stack or Mandy, get in here, tries to stack or weigh the odds in their favor. Sorry, my mom's dog just came
That's
in, and of
okay.
course, now you can hear her
Oh.
feet. Um, but it's the devil card isn't the devil. It's a manipulative person or someone that tries to stack the odds in their favor, regardless of the outcome or the suffering of another. The Tower card, I'm not a fan of it because sometimes you got to tear crap down in order to build it back up. The thing that affects tarot cards the most isn't their title. It isn't the specific card themselves. It is the card before it and the card after it.
Hmm.
And I'm amazed at how many people think wands are fire and swords are air. Not so much. Okay. At least to me. And if I was to try to read wands is fire and swords is air, my readings would be 100% different and I would have a lot of unsatisfied customers.
Have you ever had somebody come to you that had already been to a tarot reading?
Oh, yeah. All the
Oh,
time.
what happens?
Um, I don't like to sound like a. Can I curse? Can I curse?
Yes, you can.
Okay. I don't like to sound like an asshole. But if I'm being honest, the amount of people that I've had do that, some have been very happy with previous readings, especially when because I don't know who they've been read by, but when my reading correlates. So wonderful. But the people that I have come to me that have been to readers who scare them,
Mm.
try to put fear into them in order to keep them coming back, that are manipulative or try to get additional funds out of them for other reasons, they're very pleased
Oh,
with me.
yeah.
Well, I will
Um,
say that, you know.
oh God, I had a question. Okay, so suppose, okay, you being a psychic, somebody
Mhm.
contacts you and they want a reading, but they have really bad negative energy. Do you still do a reading on them?
I will. That is a very good question, and thank you for asking that. Um, for me, I have actually had people, and I've had clients for years. Okay, certain clients for years, and they keep coming back because the readings are different. Okay, depending on whatever they're going through and whatever spirit tells me. But I will tell people, I will ask them if I feel it right off the bat. I'm like, you know what? I got to be honest with you. Your energy feels really off right now. Do you want to continue and do the reading,
Mm.
or at no additional charge, would you like to reschedule? Because I do not mind. And I will leave it up to them.
Well, what I was thinking more or less like they were a bad person. I mean, they were
Oh, no,
really a bad
I've had,
person.
I've had killers and rapists come through in readings. So, I mean, the dead ones.
Uh,
So,
but
if I can't deal with that, if I can't deal with a live bad person, I got no business dealing with the dead ones.
you mean serial killers come through?
I've had killers come through 100%. I've had
Really?
rapists, I've had child molesters come through with
So
their victims.
no
I their
way.
victim and they're coming through.
Oh, that's a show in itself.
We know that's I love the idea, but that is extremely personal.
Oh, you don't have to tell us who the person is.
Oh no, I wouldn't. I won't tell
But
you.
I just want to know.
I don't tell anyone who I've read for. Period.
Oh God, no.
That's up to
Oh
them. I don't know
yeah.
the word.
Oh, I understand that. You're like a doctor. But the thing
Yeah.
is, that's fascinating though. That is fascinating. But why would a serial? So they
Sometimes it
come to.
sucks.
Hey, okay. So when you get a victim, there. Why are they coming to you? Why is a victim coming to you?
No, not the victim, the perpetrator, the
No,
dead one.
the victim came to you for a tarot card reading, right?
Um, I didn't know they were a victim at the time.
They didn't tell
They
us.
came out in the reading,
What
and I
happened?
confirmed,
Okay, so
and their perpetrator came through in the reading.
all right,
Yes,
so
that has happened.
when you did the reading, they didn't tell you.
Well, no, and they shouldn't.
Well, okay, right, they didn't tell you, and then this happens. Do they admit to it that they were
Yes,
violated? They
yes,
do,
yes.
and so
And not just doing tarot readings. I worked at Jimmy's Egg back in Oklahoma, Norman, Oklahoma, and word got around. Even though I didn't really talk about that a lot, at work, because why would you? And but when a new book would come out, things like that. And word got around that I do that, and a couple of customers came in and they're like, Now come on, you got to tell me who's around you. You got to tell me who's around me. Blah blah blah. And I'm like, and I could see the person sitting right there, and I'm like, do you really want me to? Because I could tell by looking at that person, because there's no tarot cards. I'm literally during the middle of my shift waiting tables on the weekend, did dentistry during the week. And I said, do you really want me to tell you who's sitting next to you?
Wow.
And she says, yes. And so I did. And I have never seen somebody go white so fast.
Wow. Okay, so this when the serial killer comes through um, to this client of yours, does the client say, would you ask this person a question, or would you ask this person why they did it, why me? Or do you
It's
just
well, and let me clarify. It's not.
okay,
I can't put serial in front of that. I've had killers come
okay,
through. Okay, um, and it can happen many different ways. But the ways it seems to happen with me most is either the I will have the like I've had a mother doing that I was doing the reading on, and I got her son who was murdered and the killers at the same time. So
oh,
kind of confirming the different things. Or I have somebody, there that is alive that I'm rooting for, and they're asking about somebody who has passed, and the killer comes through. And and because I mean obviously the person who's deceased has more information than I do,
yeah,
they're answering the questions in my head as the person is asking them. And when I say that, that is after the card reading. That is the other thing that I didn't finish saying is when I read the cards, it takes about 15, 20 minutes, if that. The rest of the time, which is generally an additional like 40 minutes, because I do an hour-long reading, the rest of that time is question and answer. And I tell people, you can ask me anything you want, whether it has to do with the cards or not. It doesn't matter. If I know the answer, I'll tell you. And if I don't know, I'll tell you, because I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass.
okay. So then at that time, they can either use your psychic ability or you. Okay, um, okay. So because you're a psychic and you used to do readings without cards. When you pull a card, would you get a different meaning than another tarot card reader?
I would assume so, just based on viewpoint and how I read. Um, and I don't mean this to come out egotistical at all. Okay. But it is going to sound that way. So just preface, a little warning there. I have absolutely no ego when I read. It doesn't exist because it isn't about me. It has nothing to do with me. I'm solely a mouthpiece. That's it. I ain't special. I've said it for years. None of us are. All we are doing is we are receiving information and relaying information. Big
Mhm.
woo. And I think that people kind of get puffed up self-importance. I do not, because it that would be the stupidest thing I could do.
Mhm.
Why am I going to make somebody else's reading about me and what I need to do to make me feel better?
Okay, so what cards do you use several decks?
Girl, I am so old school. I love my Rider Waite deck.
Do you have them with you?
I sure do.
Oh, that's right, because we're gonna do. So what is that? What kind of cards are those?
They're just like here's the Nine of Cups right there. And funny, Nine of Pentacles. Wow.
What's that
Okay,
all
so
mean?
huh? Well,
What's
it's
that?
just 9 and 9. It's kind of funny. Now, the cool thing about these, and what I love about these cards, is they give you, if you pull reverse or if you don't pull reverse, if you pull it straight up, they actually give you meanings on these of what that could mean.
Hmm.
While that is nice, it is irrelevant. Okay, because and now it can give you a good idea of where the card by itself is going. But again, you have got to look at the card before it and the card after it. Okay. And so let's say, can I give you an example?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So I'm just going to pick 3 random cards from the deck. I'm just going to
Mm-hmm.
put them out just like I normally would. I'm not looking at them. I have no idea what they are. Sit those over here. So, this is so weird because I actually have a feeling that this is for somebody watching this. Okay, so the very first card, I got to take my glasses off so I can actually read better. Very first card that I'm pulling is going to be the Page of Wands. I'm going to go ahead and turn over the other 2, and then I'm going to explain what these mean. Then I pulled the Six of Cups. Then I pulled the Ace of Pentacles. Now, why this is important? The way that at least I look at a tarot deck is it's separated, which most people I think know this, or if they've had a reading with me, they know this. A tarot deck is split up into 2 sections. So you have your major arcana, which is the cards like the High Tower, the Tower, the Priestess, the High Priestess, the Lovers, the Devil, the Moon, the Sun, whatever. Pretty much anything that begins with the. Okay, and for me, those represent your guides, your gods, your deities, your loved ones, all those out there looking out for you and trying to aid you in your progress and your path without jacking with your free will. Okay. The other half of the deck is your minor or lesser arcana. So that is like a poker deck. So you have 4 suits. You have pentacles, wands, swords, and cups, each pertain to a natural element. Pentacles are earth, their finances and health. Wands are air, their manifestation and visualization. Swords are fire, so they are your more chaotic or contrary cards, but they can also be perseverance and determination. And then cups are your water, they're your emotional element. So, with the Page of Wands, what is beautiful about this is just like in a regular poker deck of Jack, Queen, King, Ace, in a tarot deck, you have Page, Knight, Queen, King, and then Ace. The Page is the one nobody sees coming. The Page has less restriction because the Page is the lowest. So they're not focused on as much. They aren't held to this. Oh, goodness. Are you there? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
They're not held to the same standard as the Knight. They're not aggressive in that way. They're not mothering or nurturing like the Queen, or they're not domineering like the King. So they have a little bit more freedom. So when you pull the Page of Wands, it is telling you that, especially in this card, to use your imagination as inspiration, to pretty much say that if you can believe that what you want to bring to fruition is already on its way to you, then you're down half the journey already. So it is telling you to have the freedom of belief so that you can attain what it is that you want, which I think that's wonderful. It brings energy to you. It brings hope and joy to you. Now, when you bring in the Six of Cups, the beauty of this particular Cups card, and you can see it right there. The
Yeah.
6 cups all are full of flowers, which is nurturing. It is fertility in all the ways, not just pregnancy. It is growth. It is joy. Okay. And they're all upright. So with this particular one, it is telling you that if you follow that Page of Wands, that leads you to down this journey of comfort and joy and innocent pleasures and like a new lease on life, and allowing yourself to look at things in a different way and to have different experiences and broaden your horizons and broaden your boundaries and bring a new level of pleasure to your life in all ways. Okay, in all ways. That brings you to the Ace of Pentacles.
Mm-hmm.
Why this is important is the Ace of Pentacles is about new beginnings in career. So what it is telling you is that the Page of Wands leads you to the Six of Cups, which leads you to be confident enough to go after your aspirations, to fully dedicate yourself to bettering your life in regards to finances, which when you feel better financially, your health generally improves, your outlook on life generally improves. Now, why that is important. Let's switch those cards. We are going to we're going to bring the Ace of Pentacles first. Then we're going to put the Page of Wands in the center. And then we're going to put the Six of Cups at the end.
Okay.
Okay, so the Ace of Pentacles talks about abundance and stability and security, which is wonderful. So it's telling you that you either have that now or it is on its way to you. Now, when you pull in the Page of Wands, that is telling you that if you already have this or seeing this coming to you, you need to look at it in a different way and maybe not be so stringent on how you utilize that financial abundance or good opportunities or anything like that coming into your life. And then when you end with the Six of Cups, it's telling you that again, do not let that staunch stability, um, tight, you know, pull your britches all the way up to underneath your boobs, kind of, you know, type of energy. Don't, you know what I mean? You know, don't let that overtake you, and allow yourself to live a little with that childlike quality. Okay. So it depends on the order of the cards. It depends on how they come in. It depends on, like I said, the one before it and the one after it. So each card, technically speaking, if you want to look at it in a book, has a specific meaning. But that meaning is fluid and is contingent on before and after. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Hey, so why did you turn to tarot card reading?
Solely out of curiosity. If I'm being honest, solely out of curiosity. I was already getting the information from the dead peeps that if I could find a way to kind of corral it or find a way to be able to focus better, then it allowed me to be better and to do better instead of being this insane tornado of chaos with nothing but people in my head. So it really, really, really did help.
Mm-hmm.
It helped tremendously in focus. And I can kind of block certain things out.
So you prefer this than just doing the straight psychic reading? You prefer using your cards on your readings?
No, not really. It just depends. It depends on how it feels. Like I shock people when I do a gallery reading, which I did, quite a few in Oklahoma. I'm not facing the crowd. I turn around and face the wall.
Really? Uh,
I don't
so
want to look at you.
okay, so are you picking up
And
anything from our viewers? Are you picking up anything from our
those
viewers?
three cards were important to somebody out there. And basically, what it is telling them, again, with the way that those were pulled, is that they need to focus less on the the grasping at things and more on the drawing of things to them in a more mental way. They're what's coming out of their mouth isn't what they're believing in their head.
Mm.
So in order for them to bring forth the life that it is that they're wanting, they actually have to believe that it's already there. They just haven't walked into it yet.
Somebody and the chat went up so fast. I saw somebody ask about um, palm reading as opposed to tarot card reading.
I wish I could do that, but I'm going to be very honest with you. Um, and I've watched that done in New Orleans. Matter of fact, it was done to a very good friend of mine a couple of decades ago. And she purposefully took off her wedding ring before she went in there, as she
Mm.
should. Okay. Um, but a more sedate, non hoochie person you've never met in your life. And the palm reader, the palm reader told her, "Boy, you have been around the block. I can't wait till you settle down with some good old man." And I'm sitting there thinking, you are full of shit. You are so full of shit. Your eyes are brown. Seriously. I mean, even the white parts, they're brown. You're that full of shit, you know? And the thing is, what absolutely killed me is not only did she miss because they hold your hands when they're doing that. Not only did she miss the fact that she had a huge indention from a big ass wedding ring because she was a dentist, okay,
Mm.
um, but she missed everything, and still, you know, the thing that she should have been able to read, which is why I don't do face to face readings if I can keep from it. She even still missed that because she's sitting there holding my friend's hand. She could have felt her energy. She could have felt any movement in her fingers. She could have watched her face. She could have listened to her breath. She could have done any of that, and she still fucked it up.
Wow.
So I'm not a huge fan of palm readings for many reasons, that being one, and the other being they're holding you, they're holding your hand. They can literally feel every movement.
Mm.
And you, again, people have no idea how they give themselves away.
Hey, Deck Magnet wants to know, do you have to be a psychic to do tarot card reading?
Absolutely not. Matter of fact, I mean, I just I have to use that term because that is the socially acceptable term. But as far as I'm concerned, everybody has some type of gift. And it doesn't matter if you're sensitive or intuitive or you got a good gut instinct. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters when it comes to relaying information, the only thing that matters is listening to your gut, being honest of everything that you're hearing, feeling, seeing, smelling, and tasting, and taking your ego out of it. That's it.
Okay, another question I have.
Mhm.
I had a deck of cards one time, a tarot cards, and I looked at them. I didn't know what the hell to do with them. How do you learn how to read a tarot card deck?
That another really good question. And when I was starting out, I did it exactly the way that most people do. I read the book
Oh.
and I became comfortable with it. The book for the Rider Waite that gave me an idea. I haven't had a book in 20 years.
Hmm.
I don't. If I have to order a new Rider Waite deck, because I got a gilded one, I got this one, I got a little travel size one.
Cute.
If I have to order a new one and it comes in that little bitty teeny tiny book, I toss it in the trash because I don't need it.
Wow. So, okay, I watch tarot card readers all the time on
Mm-hmm.
YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't pay any attention to the cards. I know all the swords and the cusp and all that they keep pulling out, but uh, I'm not sure if they all read it the same way. I think their interpretation, I'm not sure if each tarot card reader has the same interpretation of the card. I haven't really paid that much attention.
They well, they shouldn't. They
So,
shouldn't. A true tarot reader, a true tarot reader is listening to because these are no different than a pendulum or a Ouija board.
oh,
This is divination. That's all it is. It's divination. So it is I can do the readings without those because I'm listening to spirit and guides. I'm listening to the deceased. I can do it with them because it helps me focus because it's divination. Spirit and guides deceased. So whomever they are supposed to be reading for, whoever is coming through with that is who the message is actually coming from. It's not that we're these amazing geniuses in tarot that just know everything. It that is literally coming from another source through us. That's it.
a long time ago, years ago, I can't remember. I think it was a tarot card reader. Um, uh, told me when I was gonna die. It
Why?
is I don't know. It just
There are
came.
so many stinking variables to that. And if I was standing in front of them, I'd thump them in the damn forehead and probably kick them in the crotch because that is not something you do. That is cruel and it is unnecessary. If somebody is ill, if somebody is ill, and you know that coming through in the reading, I have had to do this. I've had to tell somebody, please, as soon as possible, do not delay. Make an appointment with your physician. And please have them check this. And I have had to do that. But nobody knows when another person is going to die like that.
Yeah, I was like 22 years old, 21 years
Mhm.
old, and they
Mhm.
said that.
Well, my grandmother passed away, and we still firmly believe, and this was, I mean, she was the one that I was born on her birthday, and she died before I turned 2. Firmly believe that she took what a tarot reader said to her to heart. And she said that she was going to die something like 6 years, 6 months, and 6 days from the day that, or 7 years, 7 months, and 7 days, or something like that, from the day that my grandfather passed away. And she did. That's not a prediction. She gave up.
Oh no. Okay.
Yes. That is not a prediction. She gave up.
Well, I think even if somebody did tell you that you were going to die at this certain age, I think you can change that.
100% you
Yeah.
can, because there are, that is the thing. It's, can I predict things in the future? Sure. Are there varying factors that could change it? Sure. I mean, my word is not the end all, be all, have all of the universe. When this is how people should explain it. When they say that they are predicting the future for another, and this is what I tell people when I do their readings, if you stay on this path exactly as the cards have described, this is where you're going. If you choose to get off that path, come see me in a few months, and let's see where you're going at that point. Because there's free will. You cannot, and I don't give a shit who you are, how much you charge, or how many times you've been on TV. You're an asshole if you do this. If you look somebody square in the face and say, I said it, that's it, this is it, period. They
Yeah.
they can go they can go suck it. Boy, I'll
Hey,
say I'll say it to their face. I don't care. I am right now.
how long do you? Hey guys, if anybody wants a tarot card reading, there's the Gmail up there. I totally endorse, and I truly believe in Vanessa Hogle, truly. And
Thank you.
if you want to get a reading, there's the Gmail up there. Anybody that's on Facebook and that is friends with her, you can message her for
And if they're not friends with me, don't friend request me first. If you want a reading and you're not friends with me, go to my public page. It'll say Vanessa Hogle and then in parentheses, Pollard. Don't go to my author page. I almost never get my notifications from that. Okay. So go to Vanessa Hogle and then parentheses, Pollard, and send me a message. Do not friend request me first. Okay. I know I'm not going to look at your page, but I want you to know I'm not going to look at your page.
I know I've done plenty. I've done a lot of shows with Vanessa a while back, and I used to give her cases, and we would talk about them, and she would do her psychic reading, and they were absolutely amazing. Now, Vanessa, honey, do you want to talk anything else about the mystery of Tara? Is there anything else you want to say about it before we do the 2 cases?
Oh my, well, actually, are there any questions?
Oh, um, let's see. Let me look in the. Ah,
Because I get long winded and I don't want to ignore anyone. I can't see the chat.
yeah. You have Patricia. Vanessa is coming back. We're gonna do a show on her haunted journey. It's gonna be a good show. Let's see. Anybody have a question for Vanessa? See if I can go through the chat. Anybody? Let me see if there's any questions. Uh,
I just wanted to make sure because I know we don't have much time left.
I know,
So
and I wanted to get to at least one of the cases before, because I know you have to leave. You have to get up early, and that's why. And now,
oh,
Vanessa.
worst case scenario, I'll do another show on cases.
Oh, okay. Um, okay. Okay. Well,
Worst case scenario.
I got it's the hour isn't up yet.
I know we got 17 minutes.
Okay. Let's see. Tallcross wanted to know, have you ever given a read? Let me go this way. Let me see if I can
Okay.
find it. This other chat, I can't read it. Tallcross, I can't find your question. Let's see. Oh, have you ever given a reading which was dark, menacing, and upsetting?
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. And there can be varying factors for that. It can be due to an attachment to that person, which the worst one I had of that, I actually ended up going out to their house. This is back in Oklahoma years and years ago. And I did a cleansing. And when I say a cleansing, I'm not sitting there saying that I was telling all the spookies to go away. Don't even get me started. Anyway, I did what I could do to help with the energy. Okay. Um, but I also pulled the wife aside and I said, please understand what I can do is minimal if your spouse continues to draw this in. Okay. And sure enough, I got a call about 2.5 months later. And I said, I will come out one more time and then that's it. Period. You know, but that was brought on by a reading. Things can be dark and menacing for many reasons. There can be health reasons. There can be the trauma, like we talked about earlier, Norene, in regards to victimization.
Mm-hmm.
There can be many, many childhood trauma. Oh my goodness. Um, it but yes, long story short, 100% yes, I have. And the thing is I'm used to it now, so I'm not as affected as I used to be, but I'm also not unaffected. I just process it better.
Okay. Uh, okay. I want it now. The cases that I have, um, there's hardly any information on them. So I'm just going to give you what I have, okay? So let me get up here to I want to do.
Go ahead and make your life easier because you actually did, even though we normally didn't do this, you sent me the case information.
All right, hold on for a minute. Let me get the picture up.
Mhm.
Hold on. Okay, so this one, is this the right one? Yeah. Okay, so this let's do the missing three. This
It's
Missouri.
Springfield 3.
Oh my God. It is
Mhm.
so creepy. So let me read this, okay? Okay, the Springfield, Missouri 3 missing woman. It was June 7th, 1992 when Stacy McCall, Cheryl Levette, and Susie Streeter would vanish without a trace. The three missing women case has perplexed people for years. It perhaps Springfield's coldest case. Here's a breakdown of the key details. The disappearance. Stacy McCall, Susie Streeter were last seen around 2:15 a.m. on June 7th, 1992, as they left a graduation party and they headed toward Levette's house, the home. The house was relatively undisturbed. There were no signs of forced entry or struggle, but there was a broken porch light globe out on the porch. According to and that was according to the Springfield police. The department, personal belongings. All three women's personal belongings, including their purses, money, clothing, cars, keys, and even the family dog, were left behind. And this remains a mystery. The case has been a public fascination and frustration for over 3 decades. No confirmed sightings, arrests, or credible suspects. So what can you tell us about this, Vanessa?
They're not going to be found.
What happened to them?
It feels like a single perpetrator. It feels like a single perpetrator. I would say, sorry, my head's killing me. I would say a single perpetrator, male, uh, more than likely between the ages of 30, 35, and maybe 40, give or take, roughly built, unassuming if you were looking at him. Okay. It's not somebody you would run to the other side of the street from. Okay. Broken porch light is to get into the place, to hide, to be able to hide there as people were coming in, to be able to go into the house without having to break a lock or break a window or do anything like that. Unfortunately, and this is where things get tricky. And I mean absolutely no disrespect to the Springfield Police Department. No disrespect. But if this same situation happened now, evidence that was missed there would not be missed now. And if evidence that was found could be properly processed now, that wasn't available at that time. The weird thing is that I'm not necessarily certain that they are in the same location together. And I know that there was speculation that they are, and I don't feel that they are. And if they are, it isn't all of them, if that makes any sense. And I really hate putting that way. Because you never want to think of somebody being in pieces. But if you look at it, as gross as it sounds, as a remains situation, to where maybe enough was put in one location that you didn't have to take everything, and it was to separate so that things couldn't be put together, that makes sense. But I do feel it was a stranger. I don't feel it was somebody that they knew personally. I feel it was a opportunity that was from somebody who had been watching, but they did not know they were watching.
Really?
And yes, very much so. We can here. Let me see if I'm right.
Okay. So it was just one man.
One.
Okay.
If memory serves, these women were quite slight.
Yeah.
Were very small.
Yeah.
Okay. And it would not have been much. I mean, they were all about my height, but a lot smaller than me physically, and a big enough man. I mean, I'm tough, I mean, ask some people who know me. I'm pretty damn tough, but a big enough man could take me.
I have no doubt. I pity the guy that would try to capture you.
I tell you, I mean, now I wasn't always that tough, and especially if I was their age, their age, the two younger ones. Others did try, and I did fight off somebody when I was 17 with an 1891 bayonet and a Chihuahua.
Oh my God.
Okay, so yeah, true story. Okay, so this is interesting. This is very, very interesting. So to pull 3 cards for this particular case right here, the very first card that pulls up is the King of Cups. Now, don't mistake the King as being solely male. It is an energy. It is it's a feeling. It is an emotional sense in this card, and it's about basically kindness and being nurturing and creative in our endeavors. So that would represent, I feel like, the older of the 3 that are missing, a very nurturing type of person. Now, this is the thing, and this is what kind of bothers me a little bit, is the second card that was pulled in is the 4 of Cups, and that deals with depression and sadness and loneliness, and somebody that would be easy to pick out as somebody to go after. Okay. I hate to put that way, but I have to. And then the next card that we pulled was the Devil.
So what does that mean?
That is that person that uses a situation to their benefit. So when you might have two young girls that might be intoxicated or compromised in any way, they might have that air of self-consciousness or um, timidness or anything that would be perceived by a perpetrator as an easy target. Okay. And you've been watching them and you know that where they're going has a nurturing person in there that would do whatever it took to protect at least one of them, if not more, then you've got the perfect makings of being able to control all three.
So this one man was able to capture all three women?
It wouldn't be hard.
Really?
Yeah, because you're
And
talking about one adult and two essentially children.
and
It,
and there was a
it's not
dog.
rare.
But there was a dog. You think the dog might
It
have
was a Yorkie.
oh, a little doggy. Oh.
Yeah, it was a Yorkie. I have one of those. I can tell you all the ways she is not going to save my life if somebody breaks in here. Now, she might alert me. She might alert me to a problem, but she can't do enough damage to stop somebody from hurting me.
Did this person have to, did he tie them up? Did they go willingly? Did he threaten
Honestly,
them?
the majority of this would have been willing against their will, if that makes sense.
Did he threaten them?
Okay. Yeah. Oh, most definitely.
Do you think he had a weapon?
Oh, yeah. Most definitely. And it doesn't feel like a gun to me. It feels like a blade. But it didn't even have to be used. Didn't even have to be used. And that is why these cards are so important. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and preface by saying I could be completely wrong. I'm only going by what I'm seeing here. But that's why these cards are so important, because you have the nurturing aspect and then you have the ones to nurture. So you have that dichotomy that somebody who is well versed in causing trauma to another knows exactly how to manipulate. And if memory serves, it was around that time they started preaching to women, no matter what, don't get in a car with somebody. Don't let them take you, no matter what. It was around the mid to late 90s when they really started preaching that. And that's because, and I agree with it. I do. You can shoot me dead on the sidewalk, but you're not getting me in that damn car.
Mhm.
You can gut me right there in front of the Walmart. I'm not getting in that car, because I know if I get in that car, that's probably the last thing I'm ever going to see.
Right. Uh,
But we didn't know that growing up,
so can you pick up why this man
because he
was
could.
so so did this guy live in the neighborhood? I mean, he must have known about this house and these girls, or this woman that owned that house.
Well, you would like to think that it would be a full knowing, but a lot of things can be just basic observation from having seen them around. He doesn't feel like he's close in that community, but you don't have to be close inside the community to see people on the regular. Okay, I see people all the time here where I live that I don't live in their same little housing area. Okay, but I know their habits because I see them.
Hmm.
You know, or like the lady that works at the Burger King. If I go through the drive through there, we're on a almost first name basis, but I don't live anywhere near her. For all she knows, I'm a psycho, which I mean, don't tell nobody. But, but the thing is that we assume that somebody has to know everything about us in order to be able to pull this off. They don't have to. All they got to know about us is what made them think what they think about us.
So he just did it because he figured he could do it. What was there any else behind
He's
that?
never
What
heard it before.
what did he do with them?
They're buried.
Killed them, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I would, and matter of fact, I'm going to be very honest with you. I would love to be proven wrong. I would shout it from the rooftops. I was wrong. I would love to be proven wrong. I don't think I
Did he take these three women back to his place, or an isolated location? Did he kill him instantly?
No,
He didn't.
no, no.
Hmm.
Isolated. I want to say it's actually, and I'm kind of familiar with the area, okay, because my mom and stepdad lived in Hollister, which is just outside of Branson, for like, I don't know, 20 some odd years, almost 30 years. So I'm kind of familiar with the area. When I tell you that between there and Springfield, or any area around there, that this would be so easy to pull off, I'm not joking. And it literally would take nothing. And then if you count into it, if he just got it, in him to do it, all you gotta do is take a quick little jaunt up to Arkansas, and you're not finding nobody.
Did he have shelter for them, or were they out in the woods? Did he have a cabin or something?
Not what you would call a cabin, but a makeshift shelter, a place.
How long were they alive before he killed them?
3 days.
He killed them all at once, or did he just like 1, 2, 3 in 3 days?
Not all at once. Not all at once, but within a short period of time.
But you can't pick up what was going through him or why he even did that?
Because he could.
Because he could, but
we want to rationalize irrational behavior. That's what we want to do because we're sane people. We want to rationalize irrational behavior. People kill solely because they can.
for no reason.
Oh, hell yeah, it happens all the time. People kill because it gives them a thrill. People kill because they just wanted to know what it felt like to kill somebody. People do the same with rape. Rape has jack shit to do with sex. Nothing to do with
It's
sex.
violation.
Everything to do with violence and control.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
That's why you have 6-month-old babies as victims and 93-year-old.
Oh, it's sick. Yeah.
It is. So we can't try to make something horrific make sense so we can understand it.
Has he done this before?
Oh yeah.
And he's never been.
Not to this scale, but yes.
And he's still out there.
I don't think he's out there. I would say that he has either been imprisoned or is still in prison.
What was he arrested for? Another.
I don't believe, not what I'm getting as murder, but something that would lead up to that. Something violent.
Wow.
I can't see him. All I can see is a shape, and he's larger.
Wow.
But like I said, it's not something that I would love to tell you he did it because of this, and this. But sometimes there, and I hate to say this because it sounds horrible, but sometimes there is no reason. The reason is literally just cause.
Wow. Yeah.
It wasn't for companionship. It wasn't for anything other than the fact that he could do it.
Wow. Wow. Well, this case will never be solved.
No,
it'll never be solved. Is my time up now?
It's 9:02.
Okay. So it means I'm up?
Well, yeah. Does anybody have any questions real quick?
Let's see. Let's see. Did anybody have a question for Vanessa? What the hell happened? Oh my goodness, something just happened to my... What the heck? Oh my God, are you there? Oh, that was weird. My screen changed. That was really strange.
It didn't on my end.
It did, yes. I just saw it live. It's the whole screen just changed.
That's weird. No, I'm saying it didn't on my end.
Oh my God, that's weird. Let's see. Cassandra thinks he was probably an elderly man. Yeah, a couple people think he was an elderly man.
Anything is possible. I can't see him. I
Yeah.
can only see a like I said, like a shadow figure or an outline. And I don't mean shadow figure as in dead person. You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
image without the image.
Um,
I gotta keep the slide out of my face. I'm sorry, it's driving me
oh,
crazy.
honey, that's okay. I don't see anything really.
Okay.
Okay, hey. All right, so look at. I know your time is limited, and you're cutting me off, and so, so, do you ever want to do a show on a Saturday or Sunday where we have more time?
I could. I could. Yeah. If we schedule it in advance,
Yeah.
I
Oh,
could
it'd always be in
yeah,
advance.
I could do 2 hours. Anything
Oh.
longer than that, it's just I'm not as young as I used to be, Noreen. You know, but yeah, we could do that. We could do that. I get off work. I don't work on Saturdays, but right now I'm trying to get us ready to move. But and I get off work on Sundays at 2.
Okay. And then during the week, it's tough for you, huh?
It is tough
It's
for me.
tough. Okay. Well, I was lucky to get you tonight. All right. So let's do a Sunday then. And unless you do have a Saturday.
No, Sunday would either one would be fine. Whichever one you think it would be easier for people to watch, I'm
I
fine with.
I think Saturday, especially because uh let's see, I could do a 2 o'clock, but see two. If I did 2, 3, 4, 5, it'd be 5 o'clock your time.
Uh huh.
Does that work?
That's fine.
All right, so let's schedule Saturday. I'm going to schedule the haunted journey, and I want to do some more of these cases if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
Oh, I know. That's your thing. You'd like to do that. Oh God, thanks so much, Vanessa. We really enjoyed having you back. It was fun. Always a pleasure to have you. I'm
Thank
so
you.
happy to be able to do more shows with you, and we will set up some dates, okay?
That sounds good, honey.
And wait a minute, hold on, let me do something here. Okay, so everybody, don't forget, um, let me get this off. Contact Vanessa at vrhogle972 at
One
gmail
nine
dot
seven two.
1972 at gmail.com, and schedule a reading. You won't be disappointed at all. She's amazing. She always has been amazing.
Thank
Honey,
you.
thank you so much for joining me. I can't wait. And I'll get back with you for some dates, okay?
That sounds good, honey. I'll
Thank you.
talk to you
Good
soon.
night.
Bye
Thank
now.
you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Night. Oh God, that was so great. Oh, so guys, Vanessa has always been amazing. Always been amazing. And I'm sorry we didn't get to the other case, but we will. I'll schedule a show with her, and because this other Brian Schaefer that Tall Cross sent me, it's another one. He vanished without a trace, and there's hardly any information at all on this guy. So I have another show. I think it's on October 26th. It's with Dave Spinks. We're going to do Octagon Hall. Let me do this. Hold on. We're going to do Octagon Hall, and let me see. Yeah, we're going to do Octagon Hall. It's a haunted location. It's got quite a story, and that'll be a live show. So I want to say thank you so much, everybody. Hope you had a good 4th of July. And I want to thank you, everybody, for coming in here. And I want to thank my mods. I don't know if Renee was in tonight, but Chipper, Cassandra. Uh, Chipper, Cassandra, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. That's my mods, and I love you so much. I couldn't remember if I had told you it was an hour earlier show, and thanks so much for being here. So let me do some shout outs. I hope you enjoyed it. Always a pleasure to have Vanessa on the show. Let me go back here and see to do some shout outs. Oh, wow. Well, that's a lot of a lot of activity tonight. Okay, so Cassandra, Chippeteri, thank you so much. Robert Hanna, Lori Miller, Tallcross. Thank you, Tallcross. Thanks so much for being here. I know it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, and thank you for giving the those cases. They're absolutely fascinating. I can't wait to bring more. William Fernandez, thanks again for joining us. I am Alpha Deck Magnet. Let's see who else is here. Lynn Ann Bowling. Wow, I haven't seen you for a while. Thanks for joining us. Um, let's see who else. Anybody else that wants a shout out? Oh, Strike Van Kelly. Good morning. Karen Piotti. BMF. That's so they're new. Hey guys, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give the show a like. I'd really appreciate that. And let's see, anybody else? Oh, what's this? Reiki. I missed it. The Reiki Realm podcast. Gee, that sounds familiar. The Reiki Realm podcast. I think I know who you are. Anybody? Oh, Andrew. Andrew in the Gnome Trucking Express. Yeah, she does. Yeah, she tells it like it is. She does. Patrice Bennett. Anybody else? I'm looking through. Anybody else? Did I miss anybody? Anybody else want to shout out? I appreciate you so much coming to the show. Oh, Stephanie Gregg. Yeah, Stephanie, you can email her. Sure. That's why I put that email up. Jody Yosko. Oh, I guess Vanessa. Oh, I thought Vanessa had a website. Let's see. Anybody else want to shout out? So, couple of weeks we're going to have another good show. Going to be very interesting. And also Dave has investigated the Octagon Hall many times, and he was best friends with the fellow that I don't know if he ran the place, but he was like in charge of it. Dave's going to tell us some ghost stories and his experiences, his paranormal experiences from there. That should be a good show. I don't see anybody else left in the chat room. Anybody? Okay, I'm gonna close. I don't see anybody else. That okay. Everybody, I'm gonna go now. Thank you again so much. Be safe out there, and I appreciate you being here as always. And I'm going to go. So have a great weekend, and I'll see you in about 2 weeks, okay? Thanks so much. Love you guys. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you.